I was told when
6 a.m. is a daily email newsletter.
Yeah, the podium mic.
I have one at the podium.
Yeah, so you should have a feed now.
Okay, let me. Will you go down and test that mic down there, and if you talk while I. Yeah.
Check. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Check.
Test, test, test.
Parker, we good?
Check 1 2. We good? Okay.
Morning, how you doing? How are you? Good. I'm just gonna.
Everybody still sleeping at the working house?
What naps? No more naps. Yesterday was the last nap for my 4-year-old. Because it's 11 o'clock. My son and I are getting ready to go to bed. He has been up with us on the couch, refusing to go to sleep. Oh yeah. So we're
out, man.
yeah. So no more naps. No more naps. Yeah. He does every day. It's been going down, but we're done. Hey, yeah, 4-year-old.
Good morning, hey. Good morning. Good to see you.
So yes, everybody's. Sonny was up at 5 feeding the baby, so she left her.
Stand by.
Oh, I saw him out there.
Was he out there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Never done.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, here's what I thought. I'm not paying for it if you have an opportunity to pay for it.
That's right. That's right. Just takes some time. That's what I thought about this morning. That's why I didn't.
John said she's back.
Yeah, I didn't borrow one this morning because of that. I was like, but y'all are speaking, so.
Although I'd understand if you did not.
I try not to sit behind you. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good morning. Great to see you. Congratulations on all your, I don't think I've seen you since the Wall Street Journal.
It's been busy.
Don't worry about that, sure. Thanks.
Craig. Good morning. Good, good. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Good.
See me all the time. Yeah. Just getting it all out.
Hey Liz, how you doing? Hey Liz. Good stuff today.
So you've been here bright and early?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
I've got one I'm wearing. I haven't turned it on.
All right.
Really good. 5 months, 2 years, 4 years. I told John McDonough, Johnny had a team. He was up to
I was told when I started ChartSpan that I needed to be out in Silicon Valley. I got home one night and I had an email from one of the directors of economic development for the city and the county. And they said, we saw your pitch and we think you're gonna be a big company. And we don't want you to go back to Texas. We want you to stay here. Now, that's never gonna happen in a normal place, but it did in Greenville. And the fact that they are focused on companies that can create value, that can create jobs, and then they go out of their way to make sure that so many of the obstacles that young companies encounter, you jump over them faster. And there are endless stories for what the city, the county, and the region have done for us in order for us to succeed in Greenville. But the truth is this, we were incubated here, two guys basically in a garage, and in 5 years, by staying in Greenville, we became the largest provider of care coordination solutions in the United States. We fell in love with the city, we fell in love with the people, and this pro-business climate that we knew didn't exist in Houston or New York or Chicago. I'm John Michael Carter, I'm the CEO of ChartSpan. There's so many companies achieving so many great things here, and it's not a coincidence. It's a remarkable business environment to grow and create a company. We love and are proud of what we do. I mean, we save patients' lives every day. I can't think of a place where we could have grown the company faster or achieved the results that we did than in Greenville. From here, you can change the world.
Good morning, everyone. Feel like Jack and the Beanstalk. Glad everyone here this morning. It's always an inspiration to hear John Michael. Not only does it express so well what Greenville's about, but his own personal story is just one I never tire of hearing, so we always appreciate him being out there telling that story to so many people. Greenville is an aspirational city. I've heard that said by many people. It's a city where we like to be bold, we like to do things differently, we take the road less traveled. It's an aspirational city, an ambitious city. You see it in our downtown, in every aspect of the beautiful downtown we've created. You see it in Falls Park. You see it in the people who work and live here. We're an aspirational people, and we always have been. And Greenville is a collaborative community, a collaborative city. People from other communities come here and marvel at that, at how partnerships, public-private partnerships, just relationships between competitors and companies seem to come so easy here. We hear it so much from others, but we kind of take it for granted. But that's how they see us, and it's true. We're aspirational, we always have been, we're ambitious, we're collaborative. I think that's why you're here today. We like this unusual mix that creates Greenville, South Carolina. Well, the city government of Greenville, City Council, decided a couple years ago we want to make economic development a true priority, and we want to do things differently. We want to do things that speak to these particular aspects of our unique personality in this community that have brought us where we are today. And we want to do that by investing in this process, investing in all of us being here today. We want to do this by working with our traditional partners who have been with us for so long and making things happen in downtown Greenville and all around. But we want to broaden that net and bring in new partners, new partnerships that frankly reflect the new Greenville that's out there, the people who've moved here more recently, a greater diversity of people in our community that maybe than participated in the past. So that's what that's what we're charged to do, and we're investing in. We're making a bet, I guess is what I'm saying. We're going to put money, time, and effort into betting that we can kind of mix this up a little bit more, bring in more partners, and really reflect the true Greenville that we know today. And that's what this is all about today. This is the kind of community, I think it was is John Moore here today? Where's John Moore? John Moore and I were in Austin, Texas several years ago, and we had a really interesting conversation that stayed with me. They said, you know, in Austin, Texas, they introduced to a certain person in Austin who was great success now in this company, but you know, he failed 30 times. I'm going, what? 30? How does someone do that? But the point was, that was okay. when he failed the first 10 times, they didn't run him over to Dallas or something, is what they said. Instead, they didn't shun him, they lifted him up. It was okay, because it's that kind of community. We thought, well, could Greenville be like that? Could we be a place where you're not shunned if you don't succeed because you're in there trying? We think Greenville is that kind of place because we've seen real examples of it. So we're betting in this, we're betting on this, we're investing in this, and leading our effort is a person I'm glad to introduce to you now, the city manager of the City of Greenville, John Mcdonough. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor, for that warm welcome this morning. I think I probably more resemble the beanstalk than the mayor, for sure. Podium's a little short for me, so I'll stand over here. Hey, it's an exciting day for Greenville, really exciting for us, our team, our partners, and for everybody that's gathered here this morning. We appreciate the fact that you're out here showing support for this new effort. We all know Greenville is a really unique community. We got a great quality of life. It's a great place to live, to work, to do business, to grow your family, and we're blessed with superior cultural and educational resources here. Convenient location, a great climate, and a low cost of living, all things that feed into opportunities for businesses to come, grow, and thrive. We're very fortunate to have a supportive pro-business community and a long history of successful public-private partnerships. That's what we see in the built environment here in Greenville now. All the work that's happened over the last 30, 40, 50 years to put us in a position today to make this bold announcement. We've got a skilled workforce and a rock-solid foundation of business resources, including incubators, accelerators, and access to capital, all right here in Greenville, South Carolina. But the time has come for us to introduce ourselves to the innovators looking for a collaborative community, the entrepreneurs seeking a nicer place to live, and the infrastructure to support their efforts. And we've got investors that are ready and waiting to provide capital in support of them. This initiative will show founders that they can start, grow, and ignite their business here from Greenville, South Carolina. After looking at the branding efforts of many other cities, we realized that they're all pretty much making the same promise, similar claims about what they are and what they offer. We wanted to do something different, so we chose a more personal approach, storytelling, and you're going to see a lot of that here this morning. We made the entrepreneurs the stars of the show. Our brand will speak to the heart of what motivates founders, a chance to leave their mark and to build something that's bigger than themselves, to change the world. The City of Greenville is a supporter and investor in Next, a hub for entrepreneurship and innovation. Today, I'm pleased to welcome our new executive director. Where's Eric? Oh, he's sitting right here in front of me. Eric Weissman from Cincinnati. He'll be here full time in a couple of weeks, so let's give him a warm round of applause. We're really glad you're here. Greenville is not just a destination of choice for entrepreneurs, but also for those that support and fund them. It's my pleasure to introduce my friend, Alex Estevez, who leads Venture Pitch Carolinas. The pitch competition semifinals were held last night, and Alex did a tremendous job. He and his team, I was there, saw the excitement, the videos, and the quality of the pitches. So we're really excited to have you here to share a few remarks this morning. Alex Estevez.
I'm impressed by the leadership of Mayor Knox and John, and it's not just what you see up here, it's behind the scenes, and we got a really exciting road ahead. I'm Alex Estevez. I'm a venture partner with Excel. Excel invests in innovators and entrepreneurs. Most of the names we invest in you probably wouldn't know, but you probably have heard of some of the names like Facebook or Etsy or Venmo or Spotify. UiPath, Atlassian. The company or the firm is based in Silicon Valley for over 30 years, and I'm proud to say Greenville is my home. So I'm going to talk about three things. What is the Venture Pitch event? Why does it matter? And most importantly, who are the finalists? So Venture Pitch, Next Venture Pitch has a mission of connecting innovators, kept connecting entrepreneurs and capital in the Carolinas. And so it's a pitch competition that's happening on September 16th, nextventurepitch.com for your tickets. And we attract some of the best entrepreneurs from across the Carolinas to come to Greenville to pitch to some of the best investors in the world. So we had 83 applicants, CEOs from across the Carolinas apply this year. We had 30 make the semifinals. We presented last night at Yeehaw. Free beer, it was a lot of fun. Last night's the fun part. And so why does this matter? Well, entrepreneurs care about being around entrepreneurs. Innovators care about being around innovators. And the key to this industry, this knowledge worker, innovator, entrepreneur ecosystem working is knowledge sharing. It's all around the knowledge economy. And so much more than tax incentives or typical economic development motivations, this is around density and around connecting entrepreneurs and allowing them to challenge each other and grow from each other. And so this is one effort in that regard. Next Venture Pitch is one effort in that regard. And so not only do we connect with capital, but we also help educate and empower with a founder, CEO focused morning session with some of the best thought leaders around how to scale your business, focused on entrepreneurs. And then the byproduct of this is that Greenville becomes a center, a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship in the Southeast, and eventually the world. So we're very excited. I owe a debt of gratitude to Ken. Cliff was up last night at 11 o'clock helping me think through the process for our selection this morning. But we're very pleased to announce our winners. So we had about a third of the applicants of the CEOs applied from North Carolina, about a third from South Carolina, and about a third from the upstate. So without further ado, the finalists, these are all winners. The finalists for Next Venture Pitch are as follows: 6 a.m. City, yes. Anduin out of Charlotte. You can applaud. Hold your applause to the very end, please. I don't want anybody to feel like they got slighted. Bubble Paper from the upstate. Debt Book, which is a North Carolina company that's a repeat of one of the finalists last year. Inductive Ventures. Tested HQ, that was at Clemson. We made this part of the Clemson MBA curriculum, so the students actually are part of the selection process, and we're very actively engaged this year. Joe, are you here? I don't know if Joe made it or not, but Joe and Matt Klein were very helpful with that incorporation of the Clemson ecosystem this year. Stark EXO, a Greenville-based company as well, and Xylo. So round of applause for our finalists. These are really good entrepreneurs and investable businesses. It's going to be so exciting to see them pitch Shark Tank style to some of the best investors in the country live. And that's on the 16th. So get your ticket, nextventurepitch.com. Again, it's my pleasure to be here. And thanks again to Mayor Knox and John for your leadership. It's a pleasure to be a part of the team.
Thank you.
This page.
This is about empowering the potential of entrepreneurs.
If you're an entrepreneur and you're not taking advantage of an event like this, you're not doing it right.
You're going to be able to see people you are interested in hearing about, their journeys, how do they build their companies.
The one thing I would say that you could walk away with is an immense amount of insight.
You're getting probably 100 years worth of entrepreneurial experience from people who've done it.
If you're going to be a great entrepreneur, you're going to be curious. And if you're going to be curious, this is a great environment for curiosity.
So again, that's on the 16th in a couple weeks. this is all about entrepreneurs, and it all starts with the entrepreneur. Last year's finalist judge's choice, the winner of last year, was Paige McFeely. Paige is one of our top entrepreneurs in South Carolina. We are privileged to have her here today, and it's my privilege to welcome to you Paige McFeely.
Morning, everybody. As Alex said, I'm Paige McFeely. I'm the founder of BASE, and we're the first and only platform built for executive assistants. So today, more than 5,000 assistants use BASE worldwide. And so right around the time that I started BASE in 2018, my husband and I thought it would be a great idea to pack up our 3 very young children and move here from Austin, Texas. So we've been talking about Austin, what a booming economy it was there. So a lot of the initial investors that I talked to were like, what are you doing? Where are you going? But we did find an investor out of Indianapolis, ironically, who loves Greenville, and some of you might know them, High Alpha. My husband is a bit of a serial entrepreneur himself, so to say that things got a bit wild for a minute there is a bit of an understatement. But from the very beginning, Greenville was so welcoming, so wonderful to us, so much so that we won last year's venture pitch, which was very, very exciting. So looking back, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I don't feel like I fit the traditional mold in so many ways, but I found myself with this pretty unique problem, and frankly just got tired of waiting for someone else to fix it. And I realized that I felt like I had this unique skill set to be the one to fix it, and that was that an entire industry, assistants, were being completely forgotten by software. So we started BASE in 2018. As we dug into it, we began to realize that the implications of that gap that this industry was being completely forgotten about went a lot deeper than that. It wasn't just that the software was missing, it was that this whole system to support these individuals was largely missing. Assistants often fall into this line of work. There's not a lot of training or development. They often report that they feel isolated and lonely in what they do. And frequently a career path is not always very apparent to them. And so we spent a lot of time thinking about what this industry needs. And I began to realize, especially over the last 2 years, that it's pretty similar to what I believe our city needs. We need more exposure, we need more open doors, we need more resources, and frankly, more conversations like this about what needs to be done. So for me and for Greenville, I believe it's all about access and impact, 2 words that you're gonna hear a whole bunch about today. I didn't grow up here, but my husband did. We met in San Francisco in 2009. We did a very brief and exhausting sprint in New York City and eventually settled in Austin, where we welcomed our 3 children, started a couple businesses. So we made the decision to move here. It was not just because my husband was from here and we have family here, but because we did this pretty intense, geeky, weighted decision matrix. We had this whole spreadsheet. We weighted a whole bunch of things. We totally geeked out on it. But we were weighting things like access to family, walkability, affordability, things that were not really available to us in Austin. And Greenville won by a landslide. And we had some really good cities on there. So coming from a city like Austin, it was a very big juxtaposition. And in fact, it feels like what we imagine Austin felt like 15, 20 years ago, just poised on the cusp of change, trying to decide who it wants to be when it grows up. So it's very, very exciting for me to be a part of this conversation, to be a part of this campaign, and most importantly, to be part of these discussions and efforts to help Greenville become what it's going to become. And so that's another reason why I'm just so excited about this initiative, because we're seeking the answers to who we want to become and where we want to go. So to wrap this up, I really believe that the resources that we need, the capital that we need, and more people that maybe don't see themselves as entrepreneurs, but are willing to take that leap, we're starting to see that change, and I think this is only the beginning. So I'm so excited to be a part of this and to count myself as a resident of this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Paige. That's a really inspirational story, and we're very fortunate to have you here in Greenville. Looking forward to you doing even greater things. Thank you. Well, we all know you can't sell yourself as a place for entrepreneurs to come if you don't have a prepared workforce, right? So our education partners are critical to our success. We're very fortunate that we have leaders from Furman and Clemson here with us today. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Elizabeth Davis. She became Furman University's 12th president in July of 2014. And she's really done some great things under her leadership. The university has instituted the Furman Advantage program, a vision that combines classroom learning with immersive experiences and pathways to successful careers. And she also established the Furman Department of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And I've had the pleasure to work really closely with Anthony and his team, and he is the first Chief Innovation Officer for Furman. So please welcome me, join me in welcoming Dr. Dave.
What a great day it is to be in Greenville. Thank you, John, for that introduction and for elevating entrepreneurship and innovation in Greenville. And Knox, wow, what you've done here to make this such a livable place. It's as imports from Texas as well. We love Greenville and we're excited to be here. And so now it's our time. It's our time to be recognized as a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship, and to cultivate and grow more founders like the ones that we're celebrating today. To make it happen, it's going to take innovative partnerships and collaborations between our corporate community, city and civic entities, and academic institutions. I'm thrilled to announce a new innovative program that will assure Greenville remains a great place to visit, live, and start and grow ventures. Last week, Furman's Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship launched Greenville Starts with the support of the City of Greenville, Greenville Local Development Corporation, South Carolina Department of Commerce, and South Carolina Research Authority. The new 8-week program is designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs move from idea to action. It does this by connecting them with a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, teaching them skills they need to grow their ventures, and providing resources to find that way to get started. The first cohort of 25 community members is a diverse group of men and women from different backgrounds. Their venture ideas range from retail to high-growth technology. The future is bright for Greenville when we work together to provide the resources and support, the opportunity really, for anyone in our community, regardless of background, to be able to successfully launch ventures. This is why I've charged Anthony Herrera, many of you know Anthony, and as John said, the Chief Innovation Officer and our Executive Director for our Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and his team, with continuing to aggressively pursue opportunities that connect the university with efforts that will bolster Greenville as a model for entrepreneurship and innovation. Furman is committed to making this happen. And that's why we're matching the city's multi-year commitment with our support for economic development activities through Accelerate, Greenville Starts, Next, Village Launch, and several other innovation and entrepreneurship initiatives. As Greenville looks to the future, Furman will be here, just like we have been since arriving in downtown Greenville in 1851, to foster innovative collaborations and improve life for all citizens in the upstate. Greenville's success is Furman's success, and Furman is Greenville's university. Thank you.
6 a.m. is a daily email newsletter delivered at 6 a.m. every morning with all relevant need-to-know local news and events in the cities that we serve.
Every single friend group has the person in it that's the one that makes the recommendation of where we're supposed to go this weekend or what we're supposed to do. Those are the individuals that were the early adopters of it. And since then, 70,000 daily readers later in Greenville, now everybody's paying attention.
Hi, my name is Ryan Heafy. I'm the co-founder and COO of 6 a.m. City.
I'm the other Ryan. My name is Ryan Johnston. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 6 a.m. City.
If you look at 6 a.m. City and how we started, I don't believe we could have launched this business in any other startup market that's out there right now. Greenville is still small enough and young enough, but it has this great entrepreneurial mindset that there is capital available. So when we started, we've actually been able to fund our entire company to date, about $4 million, all angel funded, and really pulled together all of the resources we needed while retaining a lot of the ownership of our business. And that, for an entrepreneur, is huge.
Where a lot of cities might have this attitude of when they hear about a startup or a new idea, they'll say, oh, we'll see if that works. in Greenville, that the attitude and environment, whether you're a legacy business or legacy capital, it's where and how can I help, let's go, not let's see. And I think that cheerleading mentality is what is really helping support the next wave of entrepreneurs that are moving here. We're finding ways to plug them directly into that, and I think this example right here is the proof's in the pudding.
Over the past year and a half or so, we've really expanded nationally, and so our headquarters, while located in Greenville, has afforded us the opportunity to go and put boots on the ground in Boston, Austin, San Diego, San Jose, Seattle, Portland, to now today with a footprint of 24 cities across the United States. We're really in the driver's seat as the fastest growing local media company in the country with our headquarters right here in Greenville, South Carolina.
The coolest thing about Greenville is that I feel that no matter who you are, whatever you're really interested in, you can feel a legitimate opportunity to move the ball forward. Where if you're really passionate about the city or where it's going and moving forward, you can get involved. If you pay attention, you show up, you speak up, and actually have an impact.
I think the most important thing about Greenville is our ability to be able to participate and feel like we belong in this ecosystem that is supportive of not just us as a business, but us as our family. That work-life balance then becomes a lot more manageable.
I know that I'm here. I know that my family's going to stay here, and I know that we can grow one of the strongest, most well-positioned media companies in the country from Greenville, South Carolina. From Greenville, South Carolina, you can truly change the world.
Well, congratulations to 6 a.m. City. I mean, it's a great story, taking a model built here and expanding it nationally across the country. So you guys are doing great things, and we're really proud that you're doing it from Greenville. This kind of innovation is really key to our future success, as is advanced manufacturing. We're fortunate this morning to have Dr. Mark Johnson. He's the director of Clemson University's Center for Advanced Manufacturing, and he serves as a professor of materials science and engineering. He's here to share his thoughts on the role of local universities in driving innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mark Johnson.
Knox, I think I'm at the other end of the Jack and the Beanstalk around this here. I call this a shrub. But seriously, if you go to a place like Palo Alto, you just don't find the greenery that you wind up seeing around Greenville. It's a lovely city in the time that I've been here that I've noticed. So we can do all the entrepreneurship that you can do anywhere in the world and change the world. And it's a lovely city as well. I think you all know the statistics about this. Half of all economic growth happens not just through entrepreneurship, but through technology-based entrepreneurship. Worldwide, that's the data that winds up happening out there. The entrepreneurs that are working in technology-based entrepreneurship are the people that truly do change the world. They build the teams, they put together the ideas that really change how we think about the future as a result of it. The heart of that is actually people. So what does Clemson do with this? First of all, I think you also know the statistics. Clemson provides something like half of the engineers graduating out of the entire state of South Carolina, all the colleges of engineering. That's providing the raw material, the scientists and engineers that are out there. It provides technology ideas. It brings people here to work on new research and development ideas that can lead to things like new startup companies as a result of it. Greenville is also one of the highest concentration of engineers in the entire country as a result of it. We've got a great base of technology-based companies that are not only manufacturing products here, we're exporting them to the world. 70% of all the cars that are made here are actually sold overseas. You can't say that about any other state. I was surprised about this. The state of South Carolina is the only state in the United States where our #1 export target is sending things and selling them into China. You do that with new technology, with new ideas, by being faster and more innovative than other places are. The ICAR campus here in Greenville is world-renowned as one of the premier research centers for doing research in automotive engineering. But you get spillover effects from that. You not only have new cars that come out of it, but you have new autonomy. You have new wireless systems. You even have things like new medical devices that wind up coming out of that ecosystem as a result. So the opportunity, and that's why I'm so excited about the new program that we're setting up, the new partnership here on this, is because this gives an opportunity to really jumpstart the entrepreneurship aspect of it, working with Clemson. So how does Clemson wind up benefiting from this and this ecosystem? There are 3 ways. First is with the technologies. And when you think about universities and technologies, you often go down the pathway of, oh, you've got all these new ideas. How do we get them out to the marketplace? And certainly that makes it so these ideas can take root here in Greenville and really bring new ideas. But just as important, and probably even more important, is the people. I am really excited to venture pitch the partnership with Clemson, where our own students not only see the technologies moving forward, but they see their own future in entrepreneurship here in Greenville and that opportunity. That will pay off dividends for generations to come as a result of it. The third area is for Clemson's partners. Every day we get calls from people that saying, hey, we want to do a research project with you. How do we wind up doing it? How do we build a partnership with Clemson? And we're a startup company. We happen to be located in Ohio, in Minnesota, in Baltimore, in California. Having this ecosystem community where you can say, by the way, you can be here, you can be partnered with us, actually helps Clemson as well. So I think this is a great opportunity of saying, how do we all work together? How do we wind up benefiting from it collectively? And truly, this is a place where we can wind up changing the world together. So thank you very much, and I appreciate the time today.
Thank you, Mark, for that. So now you know why we're doing this. It's my pleasure to introduce our Director of Economic and Community Development, Merle Johnson, who will officially unveil the brand platform.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you, Mr. Mcdonough. And I will start with, I guess I'm probably the luckiest one here because I can stand behind the podium and not feel like a beanstalk. So it's a good thing. Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you remember or not, but when I first started here 14 months ago, you had an opportunity, you pulled me aside, and you said, you're not going to find another welcoming place than the city of Greenville and its surrounding area. I said, yes, sir. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, everybody says that. I mean, they truly, everybody says that, right? We all love where we come from. I've met lots of you in this audience. And those that I have not met, I'm hoping to meet you. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because the mayor was correct. My family thanks you. My wife thanks you. We have not been welcomed like this in any other place. And I can say that I've lived in 20 places at least 6 months or longer. And I can tell you, this is by far the most welcoming place I've ever been. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, you were correct. So it's an exciting time to be in Greenville. And yes, it's going to get even better. With the help of important partners, the City of Greenville is charging ahead in its support of entrepreneurism. Alex Estevez is changing the world from Greenville. You see, Venture Pitch Carolinas creates a tangible connection between people with ideas and people who can fund them. I had an opportunity to attend the event last night, and I'm really excited for September 16th. I hope you all will come out and celebrate all of the entrepreneurs that are going to be here on September 16th. I'm also eager to work with Eric Weissman, the new CEO of Next. Even better, if you've not had an opportunity to be at Next on Main, please stop by because City Manager and City Council has allowed the Economic Development Team for the City of Greenville to have an office over there. So we are embedded with the entrepreneurs, and it has been tremendous. So please come over there and pay us a visit. We're also excited to work with our friends at Visit Greenville, South Carolina, as we begin our national campaign. You see, hashtag #YeahThatGreenville got us on the map as a tourism destination. That team has done a phenomenal job, okay? And we will model those efforts with @YouCanGreenvilleSC in economic development recruitment. You see, the sky's the limit. Let's see how far Greenville wants to soar. So, Cheryl Lang, we are glad to have you here as the new Visit Greenville, South Carolina CEO. Your energy is both contagious and infectious, so thank you very much. And you are changing the world from Greenville. Thank you. I want to highlight another great partner we have, and that's the Upstate Alliance. John Lummis and his team has done a remarkable job in marketing the Upstate for relocations and expansions into the Upstate. You see, a program they're spearheading is called Innovators Homecoming. It's an opportunity to showcase incredible talent that has ties back to Greenville, Greenville County, and the entire Upstate. And we're getting ready to launch that here in the next couple weeks. This evening, we've partnered with Greenville Drive and Furman University for the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Night at Floor Field. Craig Brown, thank you and your entire team for being change makers in the West End. I'll also take a quote from Councilmember Fleming. It's an opportunity for us to be around innovators, entrepreneurs, founders, and all the business partners, as well as stakeholders in economic development, to celebrate all of you entrepreneurs. And guess what? As Councilmember Fleming said, it's more than just baseball. I'd like to congratulate you, Dr. Elizabeth Davis, President of Furman Universities, and you, Anthony Herrera, the Chief Innovation Officer, for launching your GVL Starts program. 25 entrepreneurs were accepted into that first cohort and are already moving idea to action. I'm going to highlight one right now. All right, so there's a young lady that's in this program. Her name is Jennifer Spears, and it's called the African Violet. If you like tea and you've never tried her tea, go get it. All right, and you'll hear a little bit more about that here in a second. All right. Many of you have heard of Mill Community Ministries. If you've not had an opportunity to meet their executive director, Dan Weidenbrenner, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Through a nonprofit program called Village Launch, he is changing the world in Greenville. Village Launch is a social enterprise that provides holistic business training and professional connections. So here comes the good part. Since their creation in 2014, they have graduated over 150 entrepreneurs. I hope you guys understand the magnitude of that. 150 entrepreneurs, with 70% of them being minorities. One more stat about that, which is even more remarkable. 92% of them are women-owned. Huge opportunity for Greenville. Does it stop there, though? Doesn't. Through a partnership that they have with Community Works and the Greenville Local Development Corporation, Village Launch has expanded their Business Entrepreneur Academy to the West Side special emphasis neighborhoods in the city. Just last week, I got to attend their graduation, their latest graduation. 10 more entrepreneurs graduated, with 2 of them being awarded $5,000 loans, okay? Here's the tie back to Jennifer Spears. She graduated last week. She's in GVL Starts. And Third Thursday Market is an opportunity for you to go out there and see all these new businesses that are being started and have an opportunity to interact with these entrepreneurs and hopefully buy some of their goods. I hope you all will take the time to go to youcangreenvillesc.com. You see, that's our new digital hub. It's going to highlight all the entrepreneurs within the city, within the county, and within the upstate. One big family. It's a digital hub for our efforts and the programs offered by all of our partners. So please take the time to go to youcangreenvillesc.com. You see, here, entrepreneurs can plan a visit, connect with resources, find events for entrepreneurs and innovators and founders, and even see your jobs that you're advertising be posted on them. So finally, and in closing, all you entrepreneurs nationwide and all you entrepreneurs sitting in this room, listen and hear this. Believe and belong, because from Greenville, yes, you can change the world.
I feel like I'm the type of person who always knew I was going to have a company one day. The entrepreneur is very much the person who's like, I'm just gonna jump off the cliff. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can fly. My name is Kenzie Vance. I'm the founder and CEO of Workspeed. We are an executive assistant solutions company. Waking up one day in DC and saying to myself, you should be doing something bigger with your life. Like, you have the ability to impact others. And this was the ability to connect lots of women back to a stable income for their household. I didn't know how we were going to move the business forward. I was getting super frustrated, nothing was working. So I called on one and landed business leader. She was like, Greenville can do more for you right now as a Black female entrepreneur than we are positioned to do. I moved to Greenville. I remember getting here and someone saying to me, you know, Greenville really wants to win together. We used to say, oh, we quadrupled the size of our business since we got here. Now, times 8 or times 9 the size of our business since we got here. The resources, the community, and the focus of being in a place where you really can just sit down and get the business done without as many distractions. I mean, the pictures and all the articles and magazines don't sum it up. You really need to come down and feel the energy and walk down the streets and be with the community. So come in and really experience the unexpectedness that Greenville as a whole has to offer that people just can't imagine. From Greenville, you can definitely change the world, and I say that as somebody who is changing the world.
Kenzie, great video. Wave your hand. She's here with us this morning. Let's give her another round of applause. So great. Thank you. Kenzie's a graduate of the Chamber's Minority Business Accelerator, and we're fortunate this morning that we have our CEO of the Greenville Chamber, Carlos Phillips, with us. He describes his mission as leading, convening, and mobilizing the community to build a globally competitive economy where businesses succeed and people prosper. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you, John, and good morning, everyone. Mayor, I see your Jack and the Beanstalk reference, and I'll raise you one. I'm kind of feeling like the Jolly Green Giant right now. All right, I'm honored to be here this morning with each of you to celebrate this exciting launch. I want to congratulate John, Merle, and your team for putting this program together. John, since your arrival, we've been talking about how we can market Greenville's business community, and using a model from the Yale That Greenville. What's the Yale That Greenville for business? Well, congratulations. I think you figured it out. This is an exciting initiative to brand Greenville's innovative and entrepreneurial business community. Now, the Greenville Chamber has been involved in this work of innovation and entrepreneurship for 132 years. 132 years. Now, of course, the definition of innovation has changed over the past century, but we've been involved in this work for over 130 years. In fact, around the Chamber office, we like to consider ourselves a 130-year-old startup. And that's our operating model there at the Chamber. One initiative that's leading these efforts at the Chamber is Accelerate, and we're in our third version of Accelerate. And it's been driving growth of our economy for the past decade. Currently engaged in efforts to ensure that our area businesses have the talent and workforce that it needs to be successful. We're leveraging data to make more informed decisions in our community. We understand the importance and are focused on increasing educational attainment, specifically for working age adults, to ensure that we've got the talent that our community needs to grow and that businesses need to succeed. And we're happy to continue our efforts to grow our entrepreneurial ecosystem. I'll make note of our Minority Business Accelerator, which is in its 9th cohort. Right now, over 100 minority and women-owned businesses have graduated from that program. They've employed almost 300 people, raising millions of dollars in revenue. It's really great, and I want you to stay tuned for an exciting announcement about the Minority Business Accelerator here in the next couple of weeks. I think you'll be impressed by that. And of course, we're excited to continue our support along with the city of the next initiative. Eric, welcome to Greenville. I'm glad we could pull you away from Cincinnati. I know they've got great beer there in Cincinnati. We've got good beer here too. I think you'll enjoy it. But I look forward to working with you and the next team. This is a bold and exciting step for Greenville. I've often heard that what got you here won't get you there. But I am convinced that from here, we can and we will change Greenville and the world. I look forward to working with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you for your partnership. We've done a lot of good work the last couple of years, and we've got a lot of great things ahead of us with a lot of super partners here this morning. So thank you for that. I want to thank all of our speakers this morning. We had a great lineup of folks, really enthusiastic, talking about the great things that are going on. We can't wait to get started with this initiative, and we hope that you share our enthusiasm for this important and impactful effort. We've consistently proven that together we can achieve amazing things, and I hope you will join me in embracing this next effort and chapter that will propel us to even greater heights. This brand is not only good for the city, but for everyone who works, lives, or does business here. Are you guys inspired yet? Maybe this will help.
This is not your usual city pitch, because we are not your usual city. We are Greenville, South Carolina, where the business climate is as good as, well, the climate, where entrepreneurs thrive because we make it easier than just about anywhere to do business, because we cooperate and collaborate and coordinate, so that you never feel like you're doing what you're doing all by yourself. Greenville is a beautiful town in a beautiful region, with beautiful people who are hardworking, educated, and excited to be here. We've become a magnet, attracting the best, the brightest, the most innovative in manufacturing, biotech, healthcare, auto, aviation, you name it. We're ready for it, because we just get it. We get the entrepreneur, the founder, the igniter. We know what makes you tick, because it's what makes us tick too. And because this part of the South is about as sleepy as a buzzsaw, you'll feel success, you'll know success, you'll make your mark. And then some. It's different here. It's gorgeous here. It's ambitious here. This is Greenville, South Carolina. And from here, you can change the world.
From here, you can change the world, and I'm going to call on somebody impromptu. I told him last night I might put him on the spot, but he's really important, going to be a driver of our future success and this change. So I want to give Eric an opportunity real quick to introduce himself and say a couple words, and then I'll wrap up the program with one last ask from everybody that's here.
Well, thanks, John, and thanks everyone for showing up today. It's been a fantastic welcome. I've been in Greenville for all of four days, but it has been as advertised. Thanks to the Next team for the fantastic foundation, John Moore, and we had coffee yesterday. It's been a whirlwind of stuff. Merle and I had lunch yesterday. Excuse me. But I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And one of the things that I try to live by in a parable that I've kind of grown fond of. It's an African proverb or parable. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go as a group. And I see that personified here this morning. I see that personified with all of the things that have happened up until this point, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the team. Thank you.
We're glad you're here, Eric. So as I said, from here you can change the world, and let's get started now. So I'm going to ask you all before we wrap up to help us spread the message. So pull out your cell phones, open either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, and follow us at UCAN Greenville SC. The Inspiration Anthem video you just watched is going to be our first post. So if you all would comment on that, we really would appreciate it. It'll help get the word out. This crowd this morning, this is all by word of mouth. Okay, we didn't have a standard list that we sent this out to. We started with a handful of people in our network, and this is what we got. This is Greenville. This is the support that we have in this city, and I thank each and every one of you all for coming out this morning. That concludes our official program. Any media want to talk with any of our speakers, they'll be available for one-on-one after this. And I want to thank you all for coming out and supporting us. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.